What's up, everybody? It's your girl, The Crystal Method, and we are back for Hawkeye episode 4. So what I'm going to do is in the first part, I'm going to give an overview of what happened the episode, and the second part will be me going over the things that I liked along with what I think or will hope will happen with the series as we continue moving forward. And as always, here's a little disclaimer letting you know that there is spoilers ahead. So if you've not seen episode 4 of Hawkeye, please proceed with caution. Okay, you've been warned. So did I like this episode? Heck yes, I did. It is the best one to date. I can only imagine how much more we're gonna get from the episodes coming up. Especially now that we have Yelena in the picture. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. Ever since I saw her in the Black Widow movie, I fell in love with her. I feel like she made that movie. If you haven't watched Black Widow, at the end of the movie, Valentina tells Yelena that Clint is responsible for Natasha's death. So I wonder what exactly she told her. What I also liked from this episode was that we finally got to see some bonding time between Clint and Kate. So they finally delved into Clint's grieving, especially regarding his family and Natasha. Clint's life went really dark during the blip. He mentions that the loss of his family turned him into the weapon that is known as Ronin. I like this part especially because here it's elaborating more on why he thinks he isn't a role model, as he has mentioned to Kate earlier. It almost seems like Clint acknowledges that he's not a hero, but more so a weapon. And then don't get me started on Clint's flashbacks, especially the ones with Nat from Endgame. Oh my god, my heart. I couldn't. Yeah, I started bawling during that part. So sad. So sad. I mean, can't imagine what it's like to lose your best friend, especially losing her right in front of you. Now, this episode raised a few questions for me. Not many, but a few. The first one being, who did Kate's mom call? She called someone saying, hey, call me back. I'm almost thinking she's the one that hired the Black Widow assassin, aka Yelena, to come after Clint. Which then leads me to think that Eleanor isn't exactly as innocent as we believe her to be. I feel like there's something going on with her. Obviously, Jack has been confirmed that he has been money laundering for the tracksuit mafia. Whether this is the segue that we're going to get into to finally seeing Kingpin, who knows? Which, by the way, sorry to everyone out there who thought Kingpin was going to come out in this episode. I really don't think we're going to see him at all in this series. Maybe it'll be like in Loki, where we didn't see Kang until the final episode, or at least some sort of variation of him. I'm thinking we're not going to see Kingpin until the very end. And even then, I don't think we're actually going to see Kingpin himself, other than maybe like a picture or some sort of like solid confirmation. And they might even do like a little scene like with Maya when they showed her with her uncle in her childhood, where a hand pinches her cheek, and we all know it's Kingpin. So I think it might be something like that. Do I think we're gonna get Daredevil in this series? No, I think they're saving him for Spider-Man. Now, another thing that happened, and it may just be wishful thinking on my part, Clint mentions that the watch belongs to someone who has been out of the game for a while. He didn't say he was dead, out of the game. So I'm wondering if the watch does not belong to Tony Stark. I think the watch belongs to Hank Pym, especially with the Quantumverse being able to go back in time. I think that watch probably helps with time travel, and maybe that's why Maya has it. Maybe she wants to go back in time to save her dad. And it's not like Hank Pym doesn't exist in Hawkeye's world or in this series. Earlier in the season, we saw Clint shoot a trick arrow that happened to say Pym on it. So it wouldn't be far-fetched for something like this, like the watch belonging to Hank Pym. And finally, will this be Jeremy Renner's last run as Hawkeye? I don't think so. I think what might happen is that this whole situation with Kate, especially how she's been emphasizing that you're a hero, you're a hero, you're a hero, I think she is going to help Clint find his way back. I think Clint is going to finally forgive himself and embrace himself as the hero the rest of us see him as, thus continuing with the mantle of Hawkeye. Not to say that later on in the line, he ain't gonna pass it down to Kate. I can't wait for episode 5. It's gonna get crazy, especially now that we have Yelena in the mix. Oh my gosh, she's gonna F some S up and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be glorious. I can't wait. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on episode 4 of Hawkeye. Very solid episode. And I knew it was going to be a solid episode. That's the way it's been, especially after WandaVision. We kind of learned that as soon as episode 4 hits, it's going to get really good. So did you watch episode 4 of Hawkeye yet? If you have, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you still lukewarm on the series? Let me know. So with that being said, thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, as well as following me on social media. And I will see you here next week for episode 5.